Hello and welcome to another episode of 2 Minute Tuesday, where each week we bring you a different tech tip so that you can get back to doing what's important. Now, last week we all received a phishing email that asked us to enter our personal information, basically our username and our password, on a site that looked a little bit like our Microsoft login. Now, we've gotten an email from Ian Sinclair, who works at the district, who actually works at the district, unlike the email we got originally. And as Ian explained, they can't prevent these emails from getting to us. Okay, they cannot stop those emails from coming through. Otherwise, we start losing actual emails and start blocking actual emails. But what we can do to protect ourselves, whether we're at work or at home, is kind of learn a few things that might give away a phishing email. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a look at the actual email that we got and look at some things, maybe 3 or 4 things that should maybe clue us in that this is not an actual legitimate email. And that's what we're gonna do in this episode, okay? So no Canvas, no Aries, nothing like that. Just how to keep ourselves safe, given the world that we live in, where these phishing emails are going to be common. And this is just like fake telemarketers calling and preying on kind of elderly people trying to get access to that stuff. And that's what a phishing email does, is they want access to your account. This one that we got, no virus was associated with it. It's just access to your account. And once they have that, they're gonna try to, basically, they can either be sold to someone or they can run it through using a couple of programs and try to match that to a number of other sites. So if you use that same password that you entered on that page, if you use that elsewhere for your personal email account or maybe social media account, it's probably best to change that, even though maybe you're not at a huge risk of getting that, having that account compromised. But you probably should change that password just to be safe. And as a norm, you should have a unique, strong password for each site that you use, meaning you shouldn't use the same password everywhere. I'm guilty of that too, so don't feel bad, but it's probably best to use something like a password manager or something like that to make sure that your accounts don't get compromised. So all we can do is keep ourselves as safe as we can. I'll show you how to do that with the email that we got, just a few things that may tip you off that this is not a legitimate email, okay? So let's go to the email now, and I have it up on my screen here. And the first thing you'll notice is that this one, it was sent to the district staff, but we got it 3 or 4 separate times, depending on if you're on maybe a PLC email list, maybe you're on a different email list. And so when you get that same email several times, that should be a red flag in and of itself, but sometimes it's not. So that would be tip number 1 from me. The second one is look at the way the email is formatted. Now, it's missing a comma here. There's no comma after sincerely. The IT help desk, that's not how we identify our help desk. Santa Maria JT Union HSD, that's not how we typically identify our district. So those are just first thing you notice is there are inconsistencies with how things are usually done within the district. And that's just being here for a while, recognizing that it doesn't look quite right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to look into it a little bit deeper. Also, another thing that we notice is spelling errors, okay, or punctuation errors like we notice here with the lack of the comma after sincerely. Oftentimes, these are coming from places that are outside the United States where English is not the first language. And so to expect a few spelling errors or punctuation or grammar errors is something you can look for, because they're not always going to be perfect. Not that all emails that come from within the United States are perfect. We know that because we work with kids and adults who like to make silly errors when we type, because sometimes we're in a hurry and things like that. But anyway, not getting off topic too much. Let's go up here, because I don't recognize Daniel Medina Vasquez. I don't know who that is. I don't know that he works for the IT desk. In my job, I kind of have a relationship with a lot of the people. I at least know their names. So when I see a name like that, somebody posing as IT that I don't know, that is another red flag. So I'm going to go up here and click on his name, and it's going to bring up all of the things that are associated with him. You'll notice here that the sender's email is a student email address. So now we have spelling errors, we have some misidentification of the way we identify our district. We have a student who's posing as IT, but it's a student email address. These are all red flags. At this point, I am not thinking that this is a legitimate email, and I should not follow through with it. Now, our district's spam filter did a pretty good job, or not spam filter, but our network filter did a pretty good job of blocking this web address. So when I try to go to it, it doesn't let me through. But let's go down here one time and let's hover over the link here. And if you do that, you can see the web address it will take you to if you click on it. So notice this is not portal.office.com. This is not smjuhsd.org. This is none of those. This is www.emi-content/office/office/index.htm. That has nothing to do with our district. That's nothing to do with Microsoft. That is a web page that is permanent that you can get to, but it has nothing to do with our district. And what's going to happen when you go there, it's going to look like Microsoft. It's going to ask you to enter your information. And then what's going to happen is when you hit OK, it's going to probably redirect you to the actual Office page and hope that you're logged in already. So then it logs you in and it looks just like you were just logging into Office, like everything worked like it was supposed to. But in reality, all you did was give them access to your account. So we know that now this link is wrong. We know it's a student. We know that there are tons and tons of spelling and grammar errors in here and misidentifications of the district. All of those things are inconsistencies that I would say would raise a red flag. And what I would do now is I would contact IT and let them know, hey, I got this email, I didn't click on it. You can forward it to IT probably, but it's best, do not forward it to other people in the district. What you should do, take a screenshot and say, hey, did you get this email? Or take a screenshot and send that to IT. IT will eventually want the actual email because they will want to be able to see, follow the link, go through and do what they can do to make sure that we stay safe. But it's not all on them, it's on us as just digital citizens, people who are gonna live here and work with computers and have our access, have our accounts online and our personal information out there. It's our job to keep ourselves safe. So that was the goal of this 2-Minute Tuesday. It's actually probably a little closer to 8 minutes, and I apologize for that. But I felt that it was important to go over these things. So one more time just to walk through it. If you're not sure, if it looks weird, click on the user, see where the email came from. Look at the link, see where that's gonna take you. If there are other things, spelling errors, grammar errors, things like that, instead of going through and entering your information, contact IT, ask them if they're doing this, ask them if there's anything they need to do or you need to do, or if they would have sent you something like this. But generally, as a general rule, they're not gonna ask you to validate stuff like that. That's just not really how our district works. It's not really how most companies work. So I would be wary of anything asking you to do that. So I hope you found this helpful. As always, in the description, there is a form. If you fill it out, you can tell me what you want to learn about. It doesn't matter. I'll do my best, whether it's coming to you and teaching you about it, whether it's making one of these 2-Minute Tuesday videos about it. That's what we'll do because I think it works fairly well. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay safe.